Attributes of God. Contrary to the person of God, his attributes can be comprehended to some extent by a human being. The reason is that man himself finds some of these attributes within him, though at a very small scale. God has granted man some portion of his knowledge, power, providence, wisdom, and mercy. Man can thus analogously have some idea of the attributes of God. This aspect can also be understood by saying that man's being is passive in nature. The Quran has used various words for the action which emanates from God to create man's being. These words are irada or intention, qawl or utterance, mashiyat or will, kalima or word, and amr or state of affairs. The reality of a shay or thing is his mashiyat or intention. A shay or thing is called a shay because of it. The attributes which manifest in a thing are in reality the attributes of this word. The reality of man's being is also the same. Furthermore, he possesses an awareness of his being and thus is able to comprehend to some extent the attributes of the Maker. However, it is essential for this that a person keep his intellect alive and that he, under the guidance of divine revelation, keep reflecting on the signs of God within him and in the world around him. For this reason, the Quran is repeatedly called upon its addressees to exercise ta'aqqul, tafakkur, and tadhakkur. Imam Amin Yasir Islahi writes, the objective of ta'aqqul is that a person should neither be guided merely by his desires, impulses, and emotions, nor should he give himself up to superstitions and myths. On the other hand, he should be guided by the intellect God has bestowed on him and must trust the guidance it provides. Tafakkur means that one should prudently deliberate on the decrees and laws of the universe and on the requisites and requirements of human nature, and acknowledge with full sincerity the principles that govern one's life which are derived from these decrees and laws. Tadhakkur means that the self-evident truths in which a person believes should be remembered by him even during the upheaval in his emotions and desires, and then without any hesitation accept the obvious consequences. Amin Yasir Islahi, Tazkiyah-e-Nafs, page 92. If one deliberates on one's surroundings and on the world within him, everything bears testimony that God is not merely the first cause and an eternal entity. He is in fact a being who has intention and knowledge and has all noble attributes. An explanation of this follows. 1. Matter does not have the faculty of intention. It also does not possess any knowledge and intellect. Similarly, the intention and intellect and other potentials of the soul cannot be its own because it is plagued with weakness, short memory, and weak will and determination. However, since from both matter and soul great benefits and remarkable phenomena are produced, which cannot result from a power which is blind and deaf, both are creations and every creation requires a creator. The Quran says, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بَلْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. Were they created without a creator, or were they their own creators? Have they created the heavens and the earth? No, in fact, they in reality have no faith. Surah number 52, verses 35 and 36. At another place, the Quran says, ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ فَأَنَّا تُؤْفَكُونَ. Such is God your Lord, the creator of everything. There is no God but Him. Where then can you turn away from Him? Surah number 40, verse 62. 2. This creator of the heaven and the earth is self-sufficient and does not need anyone. Thus there is only one cause of creation, and that is His intention of mercy. When He desired to bestow His favor, He created this world and blessed His creation with innumerable favors that cannot be counted. Thus, just as His name is Allah, it is also Rahman. The Quran states, الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. It is the most gracious who has taught the Quran, because he created man and taught him articulate speech. Just look up and observe. The sun and the moon pursue their ordered course. The plants and the trees all bow down in adoration. And he has raised high the sky and set up a balance in it, that you also do not exceed the balance. And weigh properly with fairness, and do not fall short in the balance. And he has laid the earth for his creation. Therein are fruits and sheeted palm trees, and husked grain of various sort, and scented flowers. So which of the majesties of your Lord will ye, O men and jinn, deny? Surah number 55, verses 1 to 13. 3. Knowledge is nothing but the knowledge of hidden potentials. Thus every knowledge bears witness to these potentials. If these potentials are not from a being who can perceive and can exercise his will, then they should be mere coercion. However, the organization found in this world and its deep meaningfulness refute this. None of these can be without exercising knowledge and intellect. Thus the Creator is not merely powerful, He is knowledgeable and wise too. The Quran states, قُلْ أَإِنَّكُمْ لَتَكْفُرُونَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَ الْأَرْضَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ وَتَجْعَلُونَ لَهُ أَنْدَادًا ذَلِكَ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ وَجَعَلَ فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ مِنْ فَوْقِهَا وَبَارَكَ فِيهَا وَقَدَّرَ فِيهَا أَقْوَاتَهَا فِي 4 أَيَّامٍ سَوَاءً لِلسَّائِلِينَ ثم استوى إلى السماء وهي دخان فقال لها والأرض ائتيا طوعا أو كرها قالتا أتينا طائعين فقضاهن 7 سماوات في يوم وأوحى في كل سماء أمرها وزينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وحفظا وذلك التقدير العزيز العليم. Ask them, do you disbelieve in him and associate partners with him who created the earth in 2 days? The Lord of the universe is He, and after creating the earth, He set up on it mountains towering high above it, and placed His blessings upon it, and for all the needy, according to their needs, provided with sustenance with correct measure, all this in 4 days. Then He turned towards the sky, which was in the form of smoke, and He said to it and to the earth, obey the directive willingly or unwillingly. Both said, we come forth willingly. Then He made 7 heavens in 2 days, and to each heaven He assigned its task. And we decked the lowest heaven with brilliant stars, and made it fully secure. All this is the design of the Mighty One, the All-Knowing. Surah number 41, verses 9 to 12. 4. The organization and management of the world within us and the one outside is a reality. It cannot be imagined without a being who is living and who can exist for himself, needing no one for his existence, and is also instrumental in bringing others into existence. The Quran says, الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. God, there is no God but He, the living, the sustainer, and neither slumber nor sleep overtakes Him. All that is in the heavens and the earth belong to Him. Who can intercede with Him for someone except by His own permission? He knows what lies before them and what is after them, and without His will they cannot grasp any part of His knowledge. His dominion prevails in the heavens and the earth, and their protection does not vary Him in the slightest way, and He is the exalted and the glorious one. Surah number 2, verse 255. 5. What is time? It is a concept which emanates from the fact that the Creator, who is living and is self-sustaining, is eternal. Thus, He is the foremost and nothing is before Him. He is the last and there is nothing after Him. He is the apparent and nothing is above Him. He is the hidden and nothing is below Him. He cannot be curtailed in time and space. However, His knowledge encompasses whatever is found in time and space. The Quran says, هُوَ الْأَوَّلُ وَالْآخِرُ وَالظَّاهِرُ وَالْبَاطِنُ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. He is the first and the last, the apparent and the hidden, and He has knowledge of all things. Surah number 57, verse 3. Any conception of a being without attributes is mere superstition. Differences in opinion in this regard are nothing in reality, and the essence of each opinion is the same. Thus, all worthy attributes like creativity, justice, mercy, compassion, knowledge, and wisdom are validated as the personal attributes of God and precede their effect because the cause of everything precedes its effect. Consequently, it is said that even after destruction of this world, the grandeur and the majesty of God shall continue to exist with full grace. The Quran states, كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. All that lives on earth is mortal, and only the person of your majestic and glorious God will abide forever. Surah number 55, verses 26 and 27. 7. In understanding the attributes of God, the aspect of finesse in them, however, should always remain in consideration, because power is praiseworthy only when it is complemented by mercy, affection, and justice. If anger, revenge, rage, and fury manifest themselves against oppression and injustice, then it is commendable too. Mercy, forgiveness, and generosity are laudable in their right context. The mention of the attribute of Hamid or praiseworthy with Ghani or self-sufficient, and similarly that of Hakim or wise with Alim or knowledgeable, and also Ghafur or merciful with Aziz or powerful in the Quran guides us to this very aspect of finesse and poise. The Quran says, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ سَيُجْزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And for God are only good names. Call on Him by these names and keep away from those who distort them. And whatever they are doing, they shall soon receive its reward. Surah number 7, verse 180. 8. Whatever conception of God one perceives, it cannot be devoid of majesty, splendor, and perfection. Consequently, for example, attributes such as Al-Wahid or the Only One, Al-Ahad or the Unique, and As-Samad or the Rock depict perfection. The attributes of Al-Quddus or the Holy, As-Salam or the One who is peace in entirety, and Al-Mu'min or the Peacegiver are the attributes of splendor, and Al-Malik or the King, Al-Aziz or the Powerful, and Al-Jabbar or the Dominant are attributes of majesty. The attributes of majesty produce fear, respect, and praise in a person. The attributes of splendor produce gratitude and love for him and instill hope in a person. The attributes of majesty are more apparent to his senses, and the attributes of splendor are more apparent to his intellect and heart. If God is kept in consideration, the attributes of splendor appear more dominant, and if a human soul is kept in consideration, the attributes of majesty appear dominant. Man, while fearing God, leaps towards Him for this very reason and tries to seek refuge with his attributes of splendor. In the supplications of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the words Allahumma a'udhu bika minka, or God, I seek refuge with you, from you, refer to this very reality. This is the prayer of the person who is overwhelmed with the love of his Lord, is apprehensive of his self-sufficiency and magnificence, is anxious of meeting him, and submits to all his decisions with full regard. When the Quran says that all gracious names are His, it means that every name which depicts His majesty, splendor, and perfection is gracious and can be given to Him. It states, قُلِ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوِ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ أَيَّمَّا تَدْعُوا فَلَهُ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. Tell them, you may call Him as Allah or Rahman. By whatever name you call Him, His are the most gracious names. Surah number 17, verse 110.